This is Robert Smith. I'm here in Habilitat with the Habilitat family, right? With Jeff Nash, the director. And of course, the last couple of days we've been doing some tapping, addressing some emotional issues, tapping the addictions, and just creating some changes. And the whole purpose of this series is to see if we can help and maybe make the success rate of Habilitat even higher than 54%.
My name is Jeff, and I've been with Habilitat for about 15 years. I'm an ex-drug addict, a fully recovered drug addict. And I was first introduced to tapping and NLP and the other processes that are being used about a year ago. And I've actually worked with several other practitioners. And actually we met with Robert in Dallas, Texas about 6 months ago or something. And we talked, and the idea was born there that one day we'd come here to Habilitat and work with some of our people and expose them to the process. There was a point where I worked with Robert privately in some sessions about some of my own stuff, and I found it quite effective, especially for removing memories from things that have happened in my past so that they don't continue to contaminate my future and my here and now. You know, the program, the Habilitat program, had taught me very well how to deal with these issues and how to live a normal life with these issues. But frankly, there were things that kept coming up in my life that plugged me back into those memories and caused me discomfort. And the process that he uses definitely helped disconnect me from a lot of those things and make life more peaceful now. I do use the process actually quite frequently. Especially for everyday stresses, when things become overwhelming, when I have ugly feelings about things, I'll use the process, and very quickly it will reduce the negative feelings to nothing. In fact, I had an interesting thing happen to me today. I was in line at Starbucks in the drive-thru, and right as I got in line, I had a queasy feeling in my stomach. And then I pulled into the line and I noticed there were cars in front of me, there were cars behind me, and nobody was moving. And I started to have almost a panic attack. I started to feel like I got to get out of this line. I don't want to be stuck here. And some real ugly things came up. And as we started to explore what that was all about, what I realized is that the panic feeling was very much connected to the stomach feeling ill, which was connected to many years ago when I was a heroin addict. And every morning I would wake up with a very sick stomach because my body needed heroin, and I would go into a panic because I needed to get heroin because I was going to be very sick very quick. So the emotions that came along with that were continuing even to today, 15 years later, to manifest themselves in not quite the same way, but in some ways that caused me discomfort. And as we started to explore, it became like an aha moment. It was like, oh, now I get it. There are emotions that are connected to those experiences that when I feel similar experiences now, my brain, my mind recalls the reactions, the emotional reactions to those things and brings them back into play again. And although all the training that I've had through all these years has taught me to deal with them and not go back and use drugs or anything, but they were still causing discomfort and still causing small problems in my life. So I tapped on it for a little while, and after really just a few rounds, it was over with. It was gone, and it was really good to be able to understand where it came from, what it was about. And I think it's really good to have a tool that doesn't have to do with altering your brain chemistry like with drugs, but to have a tool that you can relieve the stresses of the day or the anxieties of normal life. You know, something that doesn't anesthetize you, something that doesn't cause you problems or harm, that you can put into practice really quick and release yourself from the emotions and move on with your day. And a lot of these guys don't know it, but I do use the process pretty frequently in my private life, and I'm glad that there are people here that are open to learning about it.
I'm Wixie. I'm here at Habilitat, my resident of 31 months in the program. I was introduced to the EFT tapping approximately about maybe a month or two ago thought it was kind of strange at first, and then I was kind of open-minded. I started putting out some personal issues, some emotions, and worked through some issues that we don't necessarily address all the time or feel that comfortable to address. It was in a safe environment, kind of separated the emotions from the facts of things and kind of worked through some things to see things differently. It definitely helped on a deeper level emotionally. I think it would be beneficial for others in this area who went through many psychiatrists or therapies and went through all the pills and a series of psychosomatic treatments and everything else like that to do it without all that, and that it's a choice to see things differently and replay history.
Because I use not really EFT, FasterEFT. So you notice the two differences. What do you see the differences?
I see the differences is it's not dwelling so much on the emotion, it's just moving through it, like, okay, identifying it and this is what it is, and then changing it immediately rather than trying to kind of bask in it and actually express it. You kind of identify it and then flip it.
Flip it. I like flipping it.
I'm Nicole. I'm a resident in Habilitat. I just made 2 years. And I've been doing tapping in general for about 6 months. And it was odd because when I tapped with Robert, I felt really weird after. And it wasn't a bad or a good, and I told my friends I just felt different, and it wasn't a good feeling at first. But it was odd because yesterday I kind of felt it, and then today I was faced with a situation where I reacted different. And it wasn't necessarily the memories, but something happened and I didn't minimize it right away. And I handled it different, and I felt lighter, and I'm kind of not taking on people's attitudes. It's just kind of rolling off, and I really didn't think it worked. I vocalized it like I just don't feel different. It was hard to think about certain things, but I'm noticing I feel lighter, and I'm just, I'm tapping a lot more than I was before because I wasn't. But I'm just noticing when I'm faced with situations, it's just my reaction is different. And not necessarily outward, because a lot of my problems are inside. I beat myself up a lot. And how we say here, your head goes up your butt and you just, and I didn't feel that today.
My name is Jennifer. I've been here at Habilitat for about 11 months. I've been tapping for about 6 months, and I was just existing in the class. I was more like sitting back and watching everybody else because I was too nervous, and I guess I wasn't ready to confront my issues. I feel like when I was in private with Robert and I was able to address my issues, I feel like I definitely benefited a lot from it. As you could see on my tape, that I have a lot of deep-rooted issues that hold me back from doing a lot of things that I want to do because I wallow in my self-pity, and I have a lot of guilt and sorrow and shame. And I definitely feel like just being able to get that out and tap about it and relive it and think about it and then move through it helped me enormously, because last night I was able to sit in a group with people, and I shared what I've been working on, and I got a little emotional, but I was able to do it in front of people, and it was a little hard, and it was very uncomfortable, and I don't know, I just feel like I've definitely started the healing process. I just think that it all has to do with consistency, and that if I continue to tap and I continue to stay real with my emotions and work through them instead of stuffing them, talk them out, get them out, tap them. I liked the mental tapping that we did too. I also, because I feel a little funny, tapping in public, and you know what I mean? Just whatever, that's my own thing. But I definitely think I benefited from the mental tapping as well as the actual physical tapping. So I definitely recommend it. Like, I've been through a few treatment programs. I've been through private therapy. I've been through self-therapy, self-medicating. I've tried everything to make my memories go away, and it just makes it worse. So I feel like I learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to use tapping more in my life.
So did it change the memories that we addressed? Are they changed?
It didn't change them, but it helped me deal. It changed with the way I look at them.
That's changing.
It changed with my perception of them.
Good.
And it changed with my perception of myself. So yes, it did change the way I feel, absolutely.
That's the change.
Hi, I'm Carly and I am 28 months in Habilitat. And I've been using EFT for about the last 6 months, and I just was introduced to Robert Smith. Just a couple days ago I was able to sit in with some of the girls during their sessions, and throughout watching it I found a sense of urgency of things that I felt that I needed to shed, and something I wasn't able to do through EFT because I felt it was a little too confusing for me. I had a hard time processing it on my own. And with Robert's process, it was a lot more easier for me to identify the root of my problems and be able to actually let the feelings go. I found a lot of things that bothered me that I really didn't think were a problem for me, and that's one thing that I was really grateful for. Being in Habilitat, I made sure that I focused a lot on my addiction. So I didn't know that I still had a lot of problems with it, a lot about the fascination or the anxiousness that I have still coming back from the drug addiction, and I tapped on that, and that is something that I checked. And I check all the time because it's something that I have a sense of urgency that I don't ever want to have to deal with ever again. And I feel great. A lot of my anxiousness has really toned down, and I only tapped just yesterday, and I feel really great today. I also do feel lighter, and it's just a lot easier process, and it's something that I have continued doing. I have been tapping when I feel anything comes up, even if it's just something small, I will take the time to take care of myself. So I've really been blessed with Robert, and felt really comfortable doing it too. I wasn't scared. I knew from watching that it was going to be a good thing. So I really enjoyed it. I think it could help anyone that is willing to give it a try. Yes, I think some people can put up a judgment really fast on the process of what you do, but if it's something that is important to you to really save your life or to live a better life, I feel it can benefit anybody. But if you go in prejudging, maybe you need to start tapping on that first. But I do recommend it, especially to drug addicts, because I think it's really important to get to the root of your problems and not go to therapists or self-medication. I think tapping can help you get to the root of your problems a lot faster and heal them. So.
My name is Rachelle, and I'm 4 months in the program, and working with Robert has probably been the biggest change, the most successful thing that I've encountered so far in my program, if not in my life, as far as working towards feeling different about things and changing my life. I really can't put into words how amazing it was for me. I came out of the session that I had with him 5 days ago feeling 1,000 pounds lighter, but also feeling like I had been run over by a dump truck. It was so emotional for me. I wanted to come out and just laugh and jump around, and I literally felt like a new person. The whole process going through it, I could feel the energy coming out of me, that it was so powerful and so emotional for me. For me, I had a really good idea of how I can visualize how I see things and how they really are. And I have used that a lot since then. I found myself tapping in the morning over stresses that I wake up with, not even necessarily knowing what those stresses are, but just not wanting to have any stress starting off my day and just doing little tapping maneuvers. I also, with my addiction, I'm able to now see specifically what I was using, which was pills, as something different. I look at it as dog shit now. Now every time I look at a pill, I hope I will see dog shit.
That's good.
You've been programmed.
I have. I'm very, very
Reprogramming.
thankful for Robert. Very thankful.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karissa. Like the other girls, I've been tapping for about 6 months. And what's different about Robert is that he actually stops and explains to you what you're feeling and why you're feeling that and how you can change the programming in your head. And what he helped me to realize, for me personally, is that I program my brain to think that in order to love someone, I have to be sad, I have to be upset for them, I have to basically be angry or sad or something along the lines of that. And just knowing that and being aware of that has helped me to realize that that sadness I attach to everything in my life is unnecessary. I'm able to look at the pictures in my mind and just look at the positive, the good part about the memory, instead of feeling the need to have some kind of sadness attached to it. I too felt different afterwards, and I even said it in my video that I was kind of nervous about going outside, and I didn't understand why, because it didn't feel bad and it didn't feel good, but I think what it was that I didn't feel sad, and I felt uncomfortable not feeling sad, not being around all these people that I know and not feeling like I always do. And I noticed that today it's a good feeling that I realized that. So I definitely recommend to anybody to open up and have the balls to share these type of things.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm only 3 months into the program, and I'm still learning a lot about myself and a lot about why I started using drugs. And until Robert's class, or the one-on-one session with him, I kind of never really put much thought to why I ever used drugs. I really had to dig down and figure out why I went off the wrong path. And until it was for him getting one-on-one, I really dug down to dug down to the core issues to figure out why I started using drugs. And I don't know, I never really put much thought into I never really used much thought. I just kind of went, oh, new day, new whatever, I'm just going to do this for the day. Never really thought about my past. And if I would have never went into his class and never looked back into my past, I think by the time I graduated, I just would have went out and started a whole new life and thought I was fine. I would have never even realized the main core issues, and I would have fell right flat on my face again. So, I don't know, I'm still learning a lot, but it was the first time I tapped, and it was just good to figure out why.
My name is Greg. I've been in the program for about a year, and I thought at first, working with Robert, I thought it was kind of strange because I'm not really used to letting anything go. Most of my life I've been holding things in, and then when I went through the tapping session, it kind of helped me take a look at, certain things that I felt that I deserved to feel. Like me feeling crappy, I deserve to feel crappy, and that's how I felt. I no longer feel that I deserve to feel crappy because it's not my fault. I feel better about myself. I look at things in a different way. It's not like, my insecurities. I don't feel really insecure too much, and I'm still working on some things, but in due time, I haven't used the tapping, but I used it mentally.
Oh, good. That's tapping.
Just a couple days ago, I actually tried it, and it was kind of strange because, like I said, I'm not really used to, the whole process of this, but it's helped me out a lot.
Good.
Aloha, my name is Christian, and I've been in this program for about 22 months. Unlike most that you've seen earlier, this is my first time. I came into it a little skeptical, not so much believing. I have heard of it; it has been explained to me, but I had my strong doubts. When I came into the session with Rob, it was very comfortable. It was I instantly the walls were taken down. Things that we spoke about the actual reasons, the actual categories of what we were going to work on that day, really kind of broke down any type of barrier that I would have that I usually would put up. The session, what we worked on was mostly what he did was that he engaged triggers. He triggered what my mind would react on, which would create anger, which was my best way of defending myself. And after he triggered it, it wasn't so much, I can't really say that my memories were changed. They were altered. A lot of answers were answered. the reasons why they were triggering off, the reasons why I was angry about things that happened years ago when I was a kid, reasons why I still hold it today, and reasons why people who were once very close into my life, who are no longer at this moment in time, are still the way that they are today. And it pretty much came down to me. That was me, who I was. That was the things that I did in my life and how it affected them. The only problem was because in my childhood, I used those kind of things, those kind of triggers, people reacting off of what I did, and the only thing that I could possibly do was either A, get angry about it, get mad about it, or B, act like a child, try and fit in. Mostly it was anger. And from that day, I mean, I have to say that it was like a whole eye-opening. I mean, from coming in completely skeptical about this, not even thinking that it was a shot in the wind, but coming in and walking out was like it was like a total change. It was a total different belief status of what this can possibly do. The whole range of what if somebody actually put their mind into it and experienced it themselves. It's such a big, I mean, the only way that you could possibly explain it is if you do it yourself. If you try it yourself. It's the only way that you can explain it to yourself. I don't think anybody else can possibly put into words what it can do for you. I mean, everybody's different. But it's, I mean, to go through with it would be the only way that you could possibly understand the potential and the huge, wide variety of what you can do with your life and how much you can change and how much easier it can be. And I mean, I'd just like to say that everybody used an example today of what happened. And today I got into a dispute with a person that I worked with. Something that I know months and months ago, I would have went off. I would have went straight into either I would be acting the fool, acting like a kid, trying to goof off, trying to play it off as a joke, or I would get angry. Something toward either those two extremes. Although I've never tapped physically yet before. I tried it like my friend Greg did. I tried it mentally, and just those few seconds it took just to get my mind off of it, and just to mentally go through the motions. I mean, it to some people may sound weird, but to somebody who's done it before, it works. I mean, how else do you explain it? I don't know how to explain it. It just worked, and it was. I mean, it feels funny for me to say this, but it was almost amazing how it could click in like that. Just everything, the whole mantra, the whole going through the motions in your head. It was pretty amazing, especially coming from somebody who just totally doubted it. I totally blew it off as just some other hoax, something that you find on the internet. But it was unreal. So, in my opinion, I think the only way that you could possibly judge something like this is that if you experience it yourself and you go through it yourself. And the results that you get, I mean, open my eyes, open my mind to a whole bunch of new things. So, I think what Rob is doing is great. I think that a lot of people who think that they've hit rock bottom or think that they can't go anywhere or who are stagnant right now will be amazed at what they can actually do. That's right.
One of the things that makes Habilitat very different than a lot of other programs is we have always been, since 1971, we've always been all about finding new, innovative techniques to help people overcome their addictions. So as one of the staff members here, we're constantly searching for new, creative ways to help people live life on life's terms, to overcome the obstacles of the past, to put those things behind us and create a good life for ourselves and be happy in spite of whatever it is that we might have been through. So I'm happy that Robert made it here to Hawaii. I'm happy that he's been working here with people for several days now. He was kind enough that he's provided us with some of his training materials, a bunch of his books and his DVDs and whatnot, and we're going to make those available to people that are interested. And in fact, he and I are talking about some future plans to maybe incorporate a training program so that people that want to learn how to do this and want to learn how to teach other people how to do this can basically go through the process and learn how to do this with other people. So I'm excited about the prospects. I'm excited about the fact that he's been here for a while. We've definitely traded some knowledge with one another. He's learned a lot about our years and years of experience with treating addiction successfully, and he shared with us his years of experience of dealing with his FasterEFT and the other processes that he brings to bear to facilitate change. So if you ask me, I think this is a really good match. I'm excited about the fact that some of the people that I care very much for are finding some healing through this, and we will definitely be putting this into play in the future. And Robert and I are talking about we're going to try and reach a 80% success rate. I like it to be 100%, to be real honest with you. We get a lot of praise for our high success rate. 54% is certainly higher than the average in the country. The average is 16 to 17%, so we're about 3 times higher than the national average. But when you're involved in this business of helping people overcome addiction and choose life, you want to see 100% success rate. And unfortunately, we haven't found a way to do that yet, but we will keep searching, and we will keep being creative and innovative and keep looking for new ways to help people live a better life.
Aloha from the Habilitat family.